Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have ourselves a 1v1 on Minsk Pocket. Our heroes today are going to be Para, also known as Paradox in the forums and in-game previously, playing as the US forces, and his opponent, playing as the OKW, is going to be USA. Yes, that is confusing. But USA is also known, and more popularly known, as OMG Pop, playing as the OKW in the red. So I'm assuming that is why Paradox over here said, oh crap, because he's going up against OMG Pop. And the reason he may have been saying that is because OMG Pop, or USA, is, at the time of casting this, well, yeah, he's currently ranked 11th for the OKW, which is pretty goddamn good, right? But he is ranked 1 for USA, ranked 1 for Austere, and ranked 2 for Soviets. Yeah. Ridiculously good player. Who we actually see getting the Kubelwagen, I believe? Yeah, Kubelwagen on the field. Kubelwagen has been a subject of much discussion after the recent patch. People are saying that it's a little bit too powerful. We shall see if that is in fact the case. But for now, in the center, we saw that a rifle squad was forced to retreat because of it. Now, before we continue talking about the game, Paradox, at the time of casting this, he is ranked 51 for his US play, so top 100 player right here anyways. So, I mean, Paradox is pretty good, but, yeah, I mean, it does look like an uphill battle for him, right? Now, right off the bat, we see that a Doctrine has been selected for Mr. OMG Pop, Mr. USA. For the OKW, he is playing with the Fortifications Doctrine. And as far as build orders, he immediately built the Kubelwagen, first unit right off the gate, and then went for 2 Volksgrens. We have a Volksgren squad down here in the south, Storm Pios up on the right, and a... where is it? Where is the second squad? Oh, there it is, coming out of the field right now. So the Kubelwagen chasing down the rifles. They actually get suppressed and are forced to retreat. I'm assuming that may be the situation why the Kubelwagen is considered a little bit too powerful right now, because it does have the ability to suppress even though it isn't in its suppression mode. So maybe that's something that may be wanting to look at. It is considered to be too powerful against the U.S. forces, so maybe that is just the it's just maybe the matchup. But we'll see. So Kubelwagen getting a little bit flanked here by 2 rifle squads. Paradox pushing forward. Kubelwagen taking a lot of damage, managing to inflict some decent damage on the approaching rifle squad. Second squad does stay at a distance. Kubelwagen stops, sets up its suppression mode, and manages to catch the rifle squad out there on the field. Rifle squad continues to capture the point. Kubelwagen is forced to back up, and the rifle squad in the center does capture the munitions point. I mean the fuel point before anything goes down. Oh, Kubelwagen backing off into the range of a rear echelon squad. Goes out of control, and a nice pickup here for Paradox, or Para, as he manages to get the kill from that Kubelwagen. Volksgren squad moving in to replace the Kubelwagen, although it looks like they were in a move order to go somewhere else. They decide to stop themselves as they notice the rear echelon squad is shooting at them, and the rear echelon squad gets shot up a little bit in there. Rear echelon squad puts itself into a little bit of a cover. Volksgren's closing the distance, and they will win the engagement, forcing the rear echelon squad to retreat. Center map, we see our regiment headquarters getting produced for OMG Pop, USA. And we got Volks and Storm Pios in the center. Rifle squad does have an advantage over Volksgrens pretty much in any range, although they excel at the close to mid range. But they are being supported by a Storm Pio squad, which will help them deal with that engagement, I suppose, that range problem. So OMG Pop right now very strong, pushing forward, going for the fuel point. Up in the base, we have a lieutenant now out on the field for Mr. Paradox. And he is also building himself both an ambulance and a flak half-track, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, no, M20 utility car, sorry. I thought it was the anti-air half-track, no. So quick M20 coming onto the field. Interesting choice. I mean, it is a popular choice for the US forces to be able to deal with the Kubelwagen, but the Kubelwagen has been killed, so maybe the M20 wasn't necessarily needed here, but it's still a very good and capable harass unit, especially against all these Volksgrens, since they don't have Treks right now. So, I mean, it's still rather useful, but I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking personally, maybe since the Kubel wagon was taken care of, it may be better to wait for the half-track, but who knows. So M20 utility car straight into the field, right on top of all this infantry, going to be able to get a lot of damage in at close, forcing the retreat of all three squads. Oh my god, everything retreats. We do have an NV-34 on the field for OMG Pop, but he is forced to retreat. Everything is going back. The utility car is just getting pot shots here as all the infantry run. There is nothing in the way to stop them. The regiment headquarters, well, that is not a Schwerpanzer headquarters, so nothing will be coming from there. We do see a shit, for some reason I can't think of the name. The armored car that kills infantry. The Puma, there you go. Puma getting produced. Volksgren squad does actually get a Shrek equipped. Utility car decides not to pursue and not to chase it down, and the vehicle crew actually pops out of there, and it's getting some damage in on that regiment headquarters. I don't think it's going to be enough to take it out. I mean, I can guarantee it's not going to be enough to take it out. Infantry is popping back out onto the field, but they will be able to decrew the fuel point, giving Paradox a little bit of time here before heavier vehicles come into play. Does manage to decrew the point, pops back into the truck, and gets himself out of the way. So for the meantime, Paradox in a great position, managing to have a lot of power on the field. Ambulance is on the field, but it's just simply being used as a medic station back at base for the retreating troops. And we have rifles just sitting around. This rifle squad did not get reinforced fully as it ran out, but it's fine. Puma holding fire, although I believe it's more correctly prioritizing vehicles. I do wish they actually had a different icon on top of it to be able to distinguish between hold fire and priority targeting. But, I mean, it's just the fact that it's in the game. It's great, but, you know, maybe in a future patch they'll be able to polish that a little bit more and have a little bit of a more specific angle. Oh, nice bait here by the utility car. Lays down a mine. Squad actually decides to pop out, get a shot off on the Puma, and manages to get the kill. Utility car gets recruit. Shrek going off by the Volksgrens does manage to inflict a lot of damage. Second shot goes off in the rear armor, but the utility car makes it out of there alive. Brilliant play there by Paradox. On point with his abilities and units, or whatever you want to call it, but that was great. I mean, nice little bait there by the Puma. Into the Puma, gets hit by the mine, pops the crew out, eliminates the vehicle threat, and then pops back into retreat. MG-34 laying down a base of fire, getting suppression off on these lieutenant and the rifle squad. We do have two MG-34s on the field for OMG Pop, replacing his lost Kubel wagon essentially, and he actually calls himself a third MG-34, so wanting to set up a very strong defensive line. Doctrine selection for Paradox, he goes for the paratroopers, the Airborne Doctrine, or Airborne. Yeah, it's actually called Airborne Doctrine, right? Oh, also, yeah, I forgot. We have this now working properly, at least for the replay. So yeah, you can see there that Fortifications Doctrine for USA, OMG Pop, having all those abilities, and then we have Paradox going for the Airborne Company. Yeah, it's Company. I don't know why I said Doctrine. But yeah, he called himself a paratrooper squad now, which it will be interesting to see with the changes in the way the you know, like the weapon profiles and SMGs and all that ranges were changed in the recent patch. It'll be interesting to see if paratroopers get upgraded now a little bit more frequently with Thompsons and machine guns. But for now, the LMGs are still going to be upgraded because, well, they're still just too damn good. And because, I mean, you don't get the option for the LMGs on your rifles if you go for a doctrine other than infantry company, so it's also a reason why you wouldn't just go for that with the paratroopers. But anyways, so MG-34 is just setting up a complete line here, impassable line for infantry in the center, catches the rifle squad, forces it to retreat. On the left-hand side, paratrooper squad is running through the arc of fire of that MG-34, gets itself shot at, and gets itself suppressed. Rifle squad following up behind will also be getting suppressed as the burst goes off in its direction, and the lieutenant moves over to the left-hand side, but the point is already in possession for Paradox. Any additional tech? Let's see if is he building anything. No, not yet. But the the infantry do manage to crawl themselves out of the arc of fire to stay alive. MG34 and Shreks, Racket and Warfare getting a nice shot off there on the utility car. Utility car popping its smoke, breaking line of sight, and getting itself out of there. Rifle squad in the center victory point, not managing to do too much and forced to retreat. And we see a little bit of a flank here coming by a lot of infantry, but the MG34 is on point, guarding that arc of fire, and the lieutenant gets itself suppressed. Behind it, the paratroopers and the rifle squad are just getting some shots off on the truck. Oh, they managed to take down the truck before the Schwerpanzer headquarters finish. Nice pickup here for Paradox. Retreats the lieutenant down to one man, and the rifles and paratroopers are trying to crawl themselves out of the way. They end up having to retreat as they didn't have, that, but that was a very clutch play there. He manages to take out that building before it finished. So very nice, very aggressive. Up in the north, utility car back to full strength. The wonders of the U.S. forces with their multi-purpose crews able to reinforce. Rear echelon squad instantly feeling superior to the Volkswagen squad as they get supported by the utility car, forcing the retreat quite quickly, and he is now on the chase. Puma has been taken out, so no vehicles here to oppose the utility car. The utility car getting a couple kills there on the Volkswagens. They pop their crew out to decrew that point. And victory points are 482 for Paradox and 347 for OMG Pop. Center point has been captured by USA. I should probably be calling him by the name that he's here. I'm just, makes a little bit more sense to call him OMG Pop. I don't know. And we also have a major now on the field for Paradox. So with that, he does unlock the ability to call himself tanks on the field, starting off with a Sherman, multi-purpose tank, very versatile, very good. We'll see how good it ends up being here. And, of course, he also has the ability to set up that forward reinforced position, or even just push forward and get a barrage going off from his major, because, well, aside from the P-47 rocket strafe, he doesn't have a lot to spend the munitions on with this Doctrine. There's no vehicle, no other abilities, for barrages and such. So yeah, I mean, it's only for vehicles. So let's see. Rifle squad in the center trying to go for the cap of the victory point is getting shot up by two MG34s. MG34s have been toned down in their suppression abilities in the recent patch, so the rifle squad is able to decap the center point. Left-hand side, lieutenant and paratrooper squad going for a little bit of a flank. Side is covered there by the MG34, so the lieutenant is taking suppression. And we have Volkskrins moving up, but not in range for a grenade, while the LMGs on the paratroopers are getting a lot of damage off on that Volkskrin squad. Right-hand side, rifle squad does crawl out of the way, and the utility car actually moves up behind the lines to get some shots off on the flank. Lieutenant and paratrooper squad are suppressed there by those MG34s, but they are forced to crawl a little bit out of the way. We do have 4 MG34s on the field for OMG Pop. Sherman now on the field, getting some shots off at a distance. We do have the Racket and Warfare with priority target apparently engaged, or maybe cold fire. Getting some shots off on that Sherman. Sherman taking a lot of damage. Shrek also moving up to get some more damage in there. Sherman needs to retreat or it's going to be lost in the very early game. Down to about 10% health. Can he actually make it out? Volkswagen squad takes a shot. No, the Sherman barely makes it out of there. Very aggressive push there by Paradox, but didn't accomplish too much. Storm Pio squad moving in for the flank on the lieutenant. Can they actually get the kill on the lieutenant? Yes, they do. Paratrooper squad also retreating. Down goes the paratrooper squad. A lot of losses here in this push for Paradox. That was a bit of a mistake there. He needed to retreat a little bit earlier there. And we now have the supply truck back on the field for USA. Mr. OMG Pop, and he'll probably be setting up another Schwerpanzer headquarters in this position. Major in the center, pushing up, forced to retreat as well, and in the rear we have a rifle squad going in for a bit of a flank, getting some shots off on the troops, but MG34s are turned around, and the rifle squad is forced to run the gauntlet in between all the troops of the OKW. Can they actually make it out? 3 men still left alive. They run right past an MG34. MG34 unable to shoot at them, tries to turn the sight. Turns its sight on the 2-man rifle squad. 2-man rifle squad retreating. Yeah, they make it out. So, a lot of losses here. The utility car also apparently lost at some point. Did not check where. Whoa, wait, what happened? He abandoned the utility car up in the... Okay, I don't know exactly what happened here. Maybe he popped out and he got suppressed by the base sector? I mean, that's kind of far away. This one is right here. Oh, that is a very unfortunate situation there for Paradox. He is basically gifting OMG Pop a utility car. I mean, it's not the best thing ever, but I mean, if your enemy's going to use it against you, that's kind of sucky. Does have the crew still alive with that bazooka, so I suppose that's kind of okay, but it would be interesting to know if OMG Pop is actually aware that the utility car is down there. Does have a Volkswagen squad back at the base, so yeah, I mean, he'll probably be able to go cap that. Sherman in the center has gotten repaired. Rifle squad's moving forward, everything moving back out. We still have the Major on the field, but it is nowhere set up for a retreat path, so Rocket and Warfare in the center getting some, I mean, Sherman in the center getting shot by the Rocket and Warfare. A nice shot off goes by the MG34, getting some kills. Sherman barely makes it out of there alive, forced to retreat once again. Rifle squad retreating. Major and all the other infantry moving around. The utility car is right there. OMG Pop is now definitely aware of it, although the Volkswagens are trying to capture the point. He decides to capture the point and then go pick up the utility car and moves along the way. So a free utility car there for OMG Pop. That is a very bad situation. Sherman on the field getting repaired by everything. We have two vehicle crews and the rear echelon squad quickly repairing the Sherman. Rifle squads and even the Major forced to retreat. The Major also getting upgraded with a bar rifle. Going to be providing some combat efficiency to it, but it is currently not in the best shape. And the Sherman is now back to full strength as the utility car gets brought into the center a little bit, getting some shots off at the Major. Major finally retreating, and OMG Pop just holding strong with all those MG34s. Left-hand side point being captured by rifles. The rifles are in an angle there where they're being shot blocked by that hitch. The troops would need to move a little bit more to the side, and it allows them to capture the point with relative ease. MG34 on the right-hand side getting shot at there by the Sherman. The Sherman unable to finish off the... no, does finish it off, but it is probably going to be recaptured there by OMG Pop. Volkswagen squad getting some Shreks off at a distance. The utility car actually sitting there, not too worried. Rocket and Warfare moving up. Sherman still getting some shots off at a distance on that MG34 as it got recovered. And not able to hit too much. Rocket and Warfare moves in range to the Sherman. Sherman takes a shot. Not managing to inflict too much damage there on the MG34. Shots fly from the Rocket and Warfare. Sherman nails the gunner. Rocket and Warfare nails it again. Sherman forced to back off. Shot flies, hits the Rocket and Warfare, and the rifles in the center are forced to retreat. Rifles on the left-hand side do cap, and yeah. Center point, we do see a battle group headquarters upgraded there for USA. Also building a Pack 43 on the field, kind of reminding me here of a Sim City style of play for the for the Brits, and yeah, I mean, this static weapon that cannot move does have the ability to shoot through shot blockers and all these hedges, but I mean, it should, otherwise it would be very severely underpowered because it's already very limited. For example, this one could actually be pushed by the Major. The Major could come in for a flank over here on the side, getting close, and throw a barrage right on top of it, but we'll see if he ends up using that. Another Sherman getting produced for Mr. OMG Pop, getting his other Sherman repaired. It is a Sherman, right? Yeah. And the rifles and rear echelon squad are moving over to the right-hand side. Major being used to capture the point on the far right-hand side. Victory points 445 for Paradox, 219 for OMG Pop. Utility car now chasing down and shooting at its former friendlies and allies. Rifle squad trying to retreat. The utility car will probably chase it down. No, it actually decides to leave them alive. We can see from our point of view that it would have been able to chase them down with impunity all the way back to the base. Sherman is now barely out, but it would have probably been able to kill the squad before that happened. And we have mines, shoe mines getting laid down here by those storm pyos. Volkswagens recapturing the point. Far right-hand side, point getting capped by all the infantry. Sherman set up on the field to defend, and Sherman moving over to the left-hand side. We do have the Pak-43 on the field. It obviously, as well, has priority targeting for vehicles. Again, it looks like it's not firing, but that's not exactly what it means. Unfortunately, as the enemy, you can't really tell. So there you go. Sherman taking some shots there at the Volksgren, now getting shot by the Pak-43. Decides to move out of the way as the Pak-43 misses its shot. Pak-43 once again turning its sights. Does have... No, actually does not have range on the Sherman right there. And on the right-hand side, the rifles have captured the entire territory. So, OMG Pop in a very defensive position in the center, not being very aggressive to recapture parts of the map. And the Sherman moves up, gonna get shot by the Pak-43. One shot goes off, the Sherman not moving, gonna be forced to die. Second shot from the Pak-43 hits it, and down goes the Sherman. Slight mistake there by Paradox, sacrificing a Sherman with no real intent there. And down it goes. Right-hand side, the Sherman going for a bit of a push. We do have the utility car on the field. Oh, the Major gets taken out by the utility car. That is a very unfortunate loss there for Paradox. Although, to be frank, he wasn't utilizing his abilities, or, I mean, yeah, his abilities, like the ability to set up a forward retreat point or the artillery barrage. So I suppose he hasn't lost too much, but he does lose the possibility of using those. And again, I mean, with a Pak-43 on the field, a push by the Major to throw up an artillery barrage on it could actually be quite good. Another Sherman getting produced there to replace the losses for Paradox. He is still capturing a lot of the map and does have 2 victory points in his possession. 188 points are left for OMG Pop. Builds himself a Puma to be able to chase down and combat those Shermans. And his battle group headquarters does not have the forward retreat point. He's still retreating back to base, but it does give the troops in the center the ability to heal up, which is going to make it very difficult for Paradox to break, because he also has the ability to reinforce on the fly. So, yeah. He would need indirect fire, maybe in the form of the howitzer tank, or again getting another Major and utilizing his munitions. I mean, 500 munitions in the bank right now. Did manage to get the kill of the utility car, so that's nice for Paradox. At the very least, no longer has to worry about that. Pak-43 turns itself all the way around, getting some nice shots off on the Sherman on the south. Second shot flies, manages to nail the Sherman down to a sliver of health, but it stays alive. However, there is a Puma on the field. Puma has priority target and is now trying to chase down the Sherman. The Sherman quickly just reversing all the way back to base. The Puma is in pursuit. Is the Puma going to be able to catch it? No, it decided. Well, no. OMG Pop stopped a little bit there, but he continues to push forward. The Sherman tearing down walls just to get itself back to the base. Puma is still in pursuit. There is nothing on the way. A second Sherman is moving in its direction to try to intercept it. The Sherman moving all the way back, The Puma still in pursuit. Sherman moves up to engage it. Sherman getting shot. The Puma now getting shot back by the Sherman. The Sherman nails it. A lot of damage goes off. The Puma now in a lot of trouble, getting caught off there by a rifle squad. Rifle squad does have veterancy 1, could throw a anti-tank rifle grenade on the Puma. Does not decide to go for that, even though it does have unlimited pool of munitions. And it makes it back to the center alive. Sherman no longer going to be chasing down the Puma, as it does have the support of a Pak-43. The Pak-43 ranges to the choke point, so it's going to be very easy to take it out, so it backs off quite in range. And on the left-hand side, we have the rifle squad and a vehicle crew with a bazooka chasing off there. P-47 rocket strafe going down into the center. Bit of a weird call in there, as it doesn't really have the target of anything. There is a supply half-track nearby, so I suppose it could actually bombard that, but the Puma's all the way to the right-hand side, so the rocket strafe isn't... Well, yeah, it's actually going to go straight into the center. Goes for the half-track, actually hits the half-track and the battle group headquarters, so that's kind of nice. And I believe there will be a second strafing run by the time they come back. Jackson Tank Destroyer pushes into the center. Going to be taken out there by the Pak-43. Not going to be able to accomplish too much. Ooh, strafing barrage does go down, trying to hit the half-track, and it does take down the half-track, also doing some splash damage there to the MG-34, which moves out of the way. And the Jackson Tank Destroyer did get hit by the Pak-43 and makes it out of there alive. Another pass apparently here by the P-47s. If they can actually get the Puma in their range, they'll throw another barrage, but for now it does not look like they're going to be targeting it. They do see it, so maybe they will, but it's a weird situation there. So the P-47s, they are moving out of the field and they're going to come in for another pass. Are they actually going to target the Puma? No. Yes. Yes, they are. Oh. They go for the Puma, but they miss it completely and they end up hitting the battle group headquarters a little bit more. There you go.
P-47 air support now available.
Vehicle crew in the center forced to retreat. Rifle squad. Excuse me, holding the line on the left-hand side. They have lost their point, but there it goes. Another P-47 Thunderbolt strafing barrage goes into the center. It's not doing too much, really, although it is hitting the battle group headquarters, which is nice, but needs a little bit more. We have a Sherman flanking on the right-hand side. We have a Sherman coming over for the left-hand side, and we do, or should have, yeah, the Jackson in the center. It's still getting repaired, but there it goes. Strafing run. Right on top of that Puma, the Puma getting hit, the battle group headquarters also getting hit at the same time, and the P-47 Thunderbolts are just flying around. Munitions cache getting produced here for Paradox. I mean, he does have 235 fuel, so I suppose he doesn't really need the fuel. And even though those P-47s aren't really doing too much, I mean, it does give him the ability to call them in, you know, perpetually almost, so I suppose that's nice. Another strafing run goes down, trying to hit that Puma. That Puma just not being left alone by those P-47s. It's now in a more favorable position where not a lot of splash damage is going to be happening. The regiment headquarters is repairing it, and it has that nice little angelic halo around it. But it's going to be fine. I mean, right now we see Paradox in a little bit of a lull, not really pushing. He can't really easily push because of that PaK-43 gun and the MG-34s pretty much surrounding the entire base or position. Make it very difficult for his infantry to push from any angle. I mean, with 4 MGs you can essentially make a box. One of the planes crashed somewhere. Over there in the north. Crashes over here, doesn't actually hit anything, but that makes it so that the strafing run is far less powerful. One more barrage will probably be going down. And the P-47 gets called in once again into the center of the map. Another strafing run coming in. Trying to chase down that Puma. Puma getting hit. Not really too much, but there it goes. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, those rockets don't do... Oh! Actually nails one of the MG-34s and takes it out. That's nice. And we have a Sherman nearby, but that Puma's just not going to die to those rockets, is it? Rockets actually hitting the terrain far before the Puma. And the Sherman is now going on the hunt for the Puma. Sherman taking quite a bit of damage. We have the PaK-43 on the field. Barrage goes into the center, destroys the half-track and does a little bit of splash damage. But the Rakuten Warfare and the Puma are actually now cutting off the retreat path of that Sherman. The Sherman is a little bit damaged. We have a rifle squad nearby. And in the center we see a Jackson tank pushing up to try to stop the approach. We do have a PaK-43 covering the left-hand side as a Sherman just got beaten down right there. Rifle squad's moving forward. An infantry squad gets wiped out, I don't know where. MG-34 has gone down on the left-hand side, so it allows the flank to be open there to the rifle squads. Sherman moving in from behind, getting right on top of that PaK-43. PaK-43 turning itself around to chase, or to face the Sherman. The Sherman now managing to distracted. We have a Jackson tank destroyer off at range, not moving in to support the Puma. And the Sherman is apparently focusing down the battle group headquarters. Down it goes. Oh, it actually gets abandoned right there in the center. The Jackson needs to target it and eliminate it. Otherwise, that's giving OMG Pop a free Sherman. The machine gun crew decides to pop itself right into the center. A strafing run goes off. And it is right on top of the Sherman. So it's going to make sure that nobody goes to pick that up. Because otherwise, they're going to get almost immediately annihilated. Puma is in the center getting repaired. Gonna get rocket strafed right now. Boom, there goes the rockets, but apparently rockets not enough to take down a Puma. Puma is just impervious to rockets. I did not know the Germans engineered their armored cars just so well. I mean, look at that. I mean, just being able to actually tank a rocket, that's amazing. Sherman does get captured there by OMG Pop. It is in range of that rocket strafe, so it's probably going to be going down. It is a higher priority target, so the rocket strafe is now coming in. Boom, down it goes. Gets abandoned, gets destroyed, and the strafing run continues to go off. Sherman on the left-hand side, moving up. And the Pack 43, oh, sorry about that. No, not that, there you go. Pack 43 in range of that Sherman, once again hits it. And the Sherman is forced to back off, taking a lot of damage and down to low amounts of health. Another Sherman on the field. And the rear echelon squad capturing on the north. More rocket strafe into the center, still trying to chase down that Puma. That Puma's just soaking up munitions after munitions. Not going to be dying because it's, I mean, it's not a tank, it's an armored car. And we all know armored cars are designed to sustain rocket shots more easily than armor, so yeah, there you go. Racket the Warfare and Pack 43 probably doing a lot of damage there to that Sherman, forcing it to back off. Sherman down to about half health. And the paratroopers, once again on the field. One of them got eliminated earlier on over on this side, if you remember. And it's not currently getting upgraded with anything. Volksgren's going to recap some territory, but victory points are actually down to 35 for OMG Pop. He is obviously holding the center very effectively and not really going to be losing it anytime soon, but man, he is very low in victory points. He needs to start worrying about that relatively now. Rifle squad's pushing forward. We still have MG34s all over the field. That is 1, 2, and where's the third one? Well, I don't actually know. Can't actually select it. Ah, down over here. But they cover the center point and they force away the rifle squad, so they're not going to be able to decap that point. Jackson tank destroyer moving into the center, taking a shot, forced to back off. And on the far right hand side, we have a Volksgren squad going for the paratroopers and a rear echelon squad. Rear echelon squad could actually build a fighting position around here and just build a 50 cal machine gun. I mean, again, with the Doctrine selection for Paradox, he doesn't have a lot of ways to spend those munitions. And we can see that the rocket strafing runs haven't actually been too productive. They've done some damage, like splash damage to things, but the Puma's still alive. Actually, no, the Puma died. The Puma died, finally died. Wow, where did it die? Probably died around the center and probably to the Jackson, I would assume. Jackson takes out Pumas very quickly. No, actually it didn't. 25 kills to this guy, 1 vehicle destroyed, 2 infantry, and nothing, so it died somewhere, but I don't know where it was. 11 points left for OMG Pop. He is trying to capture the point on the right-hand side, but the rear echelon squad is holding strong there. Sending a Storm Pile squad over to the left-hand side. He needs to get that in order or he's going to die. Can he actually hold? 7 points left for OMG Pop. He is bleeding 1 point per tick. He has a very low amount of time. 6 points left. Another strafing barrage right on top of everything, but there's nothing here for it to cover. Strafing run is not going to attack infantry. Rear echelon squad does go down on the right-hand side for Paradox, so the Volkswagen squad managing to stop the bleed at 3 points. Oh my god, 3 points left for OMG Pop, but he is forced to retreat. The Sherman squad could actually move into the point and just simply, decrew the tank and recover it. Storm Pile squad rushing toward the left-hand side to try to stop that point. I think OMG Pop finally noticed what a dire situation he is in. He no longer has any points. He is not risking the the Sherman on the right-hand side. Looks like he did end up losing one, or what happened? Have a Jackson around here. We have a Sherman getting repaired back up in the base, and Paratrooper squad's getting reinforced. Racket and Warfare is on the field, getting some shots off on that Sherman, getting hit there by the hedge. MG34 getting shot up. The point on the left-hand side has gotten decapped by those storm pios. So OMG Pop holding at 3 points, going to give himself a little bit of time, but he cannot afford to lose the points. The Sherman over here is shooting at the weapons. The MG34 is trying to destroy them, although it looks like he's attacking ground. Yeah, it looks like he's actually attacking ground rather than attacking the weapon, because he's shooting very far off. Remember, you do attack move on the weapon. If you do this and you select the weapon, although it doesn't look like it lets me do the icon there. But yeah, I mean, if you like mouse over the weapon with attack move, it's going to give you the option to attack it directly, and it is far more effective and more accurate. Racket the Warfare moves up to get some shots off on the Sherman. The Sherman taking a shot to the side armor, going to be forced to back off out of the... Oh! Gets comboed there by a Shrek in the Racket the Warfare, and it goes up in flames, allowing OMG Pop to go for the right-hand side and recapture it. The left-hand side point has been lost. The rifle squad recover it, but with the center point still in the possession of OMG Pop and building a Schwerpanzer headquarters in the center, he's going to be able to control the center point quite easily, although the Jackson tank can move up and remove that, and I'm not sure if there's enough range here on that Pak-43 to keep the Jackson away. Paratrooper squad moving up, running into an MG34. The Sherman's going to be, well, that Sherman is actually dead. Sherman, single Sherman, going to be doing damage there. The Paratrooper squad now pinned down. We still have MG34s all over the place. Far right-hand side Paratrooper squad, they're actually going for the cap. If he actually caps this, he is going to lose. Well, I mean, he's going to win. Paratrooper squad gonna, well, he's currently decapping the point since it was getting capped, so it's ticking down. We see the Volkswagen squad rushing towards the victory point. The Paratrooper squad moving to the very edge. They're going to try and capture the point. Oh my god, can OMG Pop stop it there? Is this going to be it? No, he looks like he's going to be able to run into the zone. There you go, does run into the zone. Paratrooper squad down to 5 man, down to 3. Grenade goes off into the Volkswagen squad. The Volkswagen squad moves out of the way. They manage to dodge it. Very nice reaction there for OMG Pop. He moves back in. The Paratrooper squad is forced to retreat, and that allows him to stay into the game. Going to be capturing the point, and Paradox is 3 points away from winning. Rifle squad on the left-hand side going to come in for a flank on that Pak-43. The Pak-43 is relatively left alone, and we now see that the Schwerpanzer headquarters has far more range than we were led to believe, because it has the range there that it's supposed to have, and it was shooting far behind it, like around here. So there you go. Rifle squad moving up for a more of a flank. Now finally manages to get itself out of the arc of fire of that Panzer headquarters and is getting some damage there on that Pak-43. Sherman up in the north manages to decrew the Pak-43, but it is getting shot by a Volkswagen squad with Shreks. The Volkswagen squad is going to get a shot off on the rear armor. No, the Sherman manages to move out of the way. Oh, but it stops. The Sherman is... no, there it goes. Oh, Racket the Warfare from the left-hand side manages to take it out, and down goes the Sherman. Paradox crumbling here under the pressure, not managing to hold strong. He does have 422 points, so he does not need to be so sacrificial. He just needs to regroup, recover, and focus, and he'll be able to just get 3 points. All you need to do is capture a point, 2 points at any, for any amount of time. As long as you capture 2 points, that's victory, because he's not going to be able to decap it on time. Sherman going for a bit of a drive-by, runs into range of the Pak-43 while also getting shot by Racket and Warfers and gets eliminated, and that is exactly what I'm referring to with losing your cool and not taking your time. 414 points left for Paradox. He has all the time in the world. Paratrooper squad does go for the decap on the right-hand side. Volkswagen squad going to be moving once again to capture the point, stops the decap or the capturing of the point at about halfway, and the Paratrooper squad is down to 2 men. Gonna be forced to run the gauntlet through a Racket and Warfare squad and the chasing Volkswagens. I believe it's gonna be fine. It is down to 1 man, but yeah, I mean, it's only a Racket and Warfare. We have a second Racket and Warfare on the right-hand side, but yeah, the Paratrooper squad will be fine. Still have a Jackson tank destroyer in the center. Jackson tank destroyer managing to get a lot of shots there on that troop. The Pack 43 moving up, and it is, yeah, that's what I mentioned exactly. It is actually not in range of that Jackson tank destroyer, so the Schwerpanzer headquarters will be able to get taken out. Rocket the Warfare moving desperately in that direction to try to force it away. Rifle squad moving up to the north would have actually been better into the center to support the Jackson tank destroyer as it takes out, because it looks like Paradox is just trying to go for the win right now, not wanting it to take too much time. I believe, personally, that would be a mistake. He could easily build up a lot of troops to be able to push on the right-hand side and just capture the point. He is going desperately over there, but an MG-34 is covering the entire zone. It is going to get flanked there. The Paratrooper squad getting suppressed. Rifle squad's moving forward. Veteran C3 against Veteran C5 bulk sprints. They do have a bar on the squad, so they'll be able to do a lot of damage. MG-34 does go down, opening the flank. The Jackson tank destroyer in the center is still getting shots off on that Schwerpanzer headquarters. Rocket the Warfare does move up. The Jackson tank destroyer does not move out of the way, so it's going to get taken out by the Rocket the Warfare, as Paradox is currently focusing on the right-hand side. He is pushing with everything. He wants to close the game right now. The Rocket the Warfare does go down. We see a desperate rush here by the Rifle Squad going for the victory point. They decide to disengage and put themselves in heavy cover as the Storm Bio Squad gets right on top of them. Storm Bio Squad doing a lot of damage. Veteran C3 Squad maybe going down to one man, down to... goes down the Rifle Squad, losing his Veteran C3. Storm Pioneer Squad does go down, however, and we have a lot of troops in the zone. Is he going to be able to capture? He's going for a desperate rush with an MG-34 to the left-hand side. Can OMG Pop hold? The point is going to be taken out. Oh my god! Volkswagen Squad and MG-34 moving up behind. We see a stolen MG-34 going to be moving up to the other point. A P-47 rocket strafe called right on top of everything, but that's not actually going to do anything here for Paradox, because these are not vehicles, and the P-47s only target vehicles. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. That's why the Major is a very powerful thing to have. MG-34 does go down. The point is getting decapped on the right-hand side, does get capped. But the point on the left-hand side is getting decapped. The point down to 2. Oh my god. Down to 1. Oh, he decaps the point. Down to 1 point for OMG Pop. Barely holding in there. MG-34 does get stolen and forced to run the gauntlet, but it's going to get shot there by the extra man of that MG-34. Can he actually make it out? It does. No, it doesn't go. Obersoldat thing going down, and Paradox just crumbling under the pressure here. He is about to lose his squads over here. A grenade goes off on top of them. Oh, well, didn't do too much damage. 3 men left in each of the squads. Down to 2 on the paratroopers. Down to 3 on the rifle squad. They do have to run the gauntlet through MGs and Obersoldaten. Down to 1 man on the paratrooper squad. Paratrooper squad will be going down. Down to 1 on each. Down to, oh, both squads go down. That is terrible news here for Paradox. Again, crumbling under the pressure, trying to finish the game in one fell swoop, but he manages to not do that. Left-hand side point now gets decapped here by the howitzer tank, finally calling in indirect fire here for Paradox. Going to be decapping that point, but at the same time, the right-hand side point has been decapped by OMG Pop, so no points get led. The the plane actually crashes nearby the point. If he actually crashed a little bit further to the north, that might have been a good situation there. But, well, with the left-hand side point capped once again for Paradox and the right-hand side point in again for OMG Pop, he holds at 1 point. He cannot afford any mistakes at any point. The Jackson tank destroyer moving up once again. He did manage to inflict a lot of damage there on that Schwerpanzer headquarters. Jackson tank destroyer can actually just attack ground and hit it at range, but it's moving a little bit into the center. The Rocket and Warfare is actually in range of the Jackson tank destroyer. Jackson tank destroyer is just sitting in the center. Not going to be getting some shots off. Paratrooper squad forced to retreat as there are now too many infantry troops just holding strong. This squad actually has a LMG as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, obviously they have their own LMG. And in the center, the Jackson tank destroyer goes down as I believe the pack gun was in range of it. Yeah, it was barely in range of it, and with the support of the Rocket and Warfare, it quickly takes it down. Yeah, Paradox crumbling, not managing to close the game here, and he now has no infantry on the field with the exception of a paratrooper squad, and of course the crew of his vehicles. He is going to be getting himself a second Sherman, so he'll have 2 Shermans and a howitzer tank, but he is now severely outgunned. We have 3 MG-34s, 3 Rocket and Warfares, a Storm Pio getting produced, and even now we see, what is that? Is that a King Tiger? Or is it a, well, we're going to see in a second. OMG Pop. And that is, yeah, a Koenigs Tiger, the King Tiger now on the field. for OMG Pop. That is game, actually. There's nothing he can do against that.
50 cals up.
Two Shermans are not going to be able to take a King Tiger. If he had a Jackson still alive, the Jackson can do a lot of damage at range, so as long as he properly kites it and OMG Pop, it's not too brilliant with it, he will take a lot of damage. But since no Jackson is on the field and we only have Shermans, there you go. Howitzer tank being brought up, gets a nice shot up there on those Volksgrens, but the Raketen Warfare does nail it. Sherman's pushing up on the right-hand side. Getting a lot of damage in there, but the Raketen Warfare is holding strong. Finally gets cleared out. Does a lot of damage to the rear tanks. And the front lines are collapsing, but the King Tiger is being brought into the mix. And yeah, that's game. Nothing Paradox can do against this. King Tiger is heading straight into the enemy. The Sherman's trying desperately to go for a push to get behind the King Tiger and maybe do enough damage, but with Volksgrens, which Shreks and the Raketen Warfare nearby, and a Pak-43 in the center. Down goes one of the Shermans. The Pak-43 turns itself around to face the enemy tanks. Shot flies, takes out the Sherman. The Howitzer tank actually even gets abandoned in the center of the stronghold for the OKW, and the King Tiger reigns supreme. Ambulance and Paratrooper Squad is all that is left for Paradox. And the King Tiger is now just having a field day with Cash Ace. Paradox throws in the towel, and that's game. Wow, 1 point left. Paradox was so close, but yeah, I mean, that is what you call tunnel vision. You get so focused on just trying to close the game with 1 point left. I mean, he's so close to that you just want to go for it and finish him off. But I mean, he died with 330 points left. If he had kept his cool, not sacrificed the units like so easily, and forced pushes, like maybe going through this side and then things like that. I mean, all he needed was to capture 2 points pretty much for any amount of time while controlling another one, and he would have been able to finish the game. But yeah, OMG Pop manages to hold in there and gets himself a win. So I hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.